This video is about spotting liars, or what we call 12 ways to tell someone is lying to you. It's not an exact science, but it's something to look at when people are talking to you in the workplace or even at home. The credits are provided by the Forbes.com writer, Carol Kinsey Goman, and the photo credit belongs to Wikipedia. Can you spot a liar, aka Pinocchio type of person? Do you sometimes feel your boss is not telling you the truth? How often do you hear these cliches? You can count on my support. It wasn't my fault. You're next in line for a promotion. Really? I know you've heard them before, and there could be clues or cues that someone may be lying to you. Wouldn't it be great to know when you're being lied to? In real life, human beings are more complex than that. And as commonplace as deception is, deception detection remains an inexact science. So what do you do in order for you to be able to tell someone's lying? For example, your coworker says he'd be happy to help you with your project, but seems to pause a long time before answering. And while talking, his or her eyes stay focused on the computer monitor. Can you trust what he or she says? Are they just blowing you off, or are they giving you a false line, telling you something that they don't really mean? The thing about it is, you can't just tell by one thing. One of the biggest body language myths about lies is to avoid eye contact. In fact, many liars, especially those most brazen, may actually overcompensate to prove that they're not making or lying to you by making too much eye contact and holding it too long. So that's a clue, and that's also a cue, but it's just one of many. And this video will be not to rely on just one signal. You'll be more successful if you look for clusters of behaviors, 3 or 4 of them, to reinforce the other. To increase your chances of spotting a lie or a falsehood, watch for clusters of body language cues that include what we call the 12 steps or the 12 ways of spotting that someone's lying to you. So this video is just a training guide to give you a little bit insight. For example, a fake smile. It's hard for liars to give a real smile while being deceptive or trying to deceive. Real smiles crinkle the corners of the eyes and change the entire face. Fake smiles only involve the mouth. Unusual response. When the lie is planned and rehearsed, deceivers start their answers quickly, faster than truth tellers. If taken by surprise, they will stammer or hesitate. Verbal cues. When lying, a person's vocal tone will rise to a higher pitch. Other verbal cues include rambling, selective wording, and avoiding the question, exactly as asking, stammering, and the use of qualifiers. To the best of my knowledge, I could be wrong. It's also been noted that liars use fewer contractions. Instead of saying I did not, I didn't. Under overproduction of saliva. Watch for sudden swallowing, gulps, or increased need for water or moisten the lips. Look at the lips. Dry lips, pupil dilation is a nonverbal signal that is almost impossible to fake. The larger the pupil that most people experience, telling a lie can be attributed to the increased amount of tension and concentration that is being created by hormones in your body. Change in the blink rate. A person's blink rate slows down as she decides to lie and stays low. Sometimes it rapidly increases up to 8 times normal rate after the lie. Foot movement. When lying, people often display nervousness and anxiety. They will stretch out, they will kick, or they will do some kind of way in a miniaturized attempt to run away. So look for the nervousness and the anxiety in the increased foot movement. So what other ways? Face touching. A person's nose may not grow when he tells a lie, but watch closely, and you'll notice that when someone's about to tell a lie or make a false statement, he'll unconsciously touch his nose. This is most likely because of the adrenaline rush that opens up the capillaries in the mouth. It makes the nose itch. Mouth covering is another common gesture of people who are being untruthful, as well as covering the eyes. Take the time to look at these cues and don't just take things for granted. Incongruence. When a person believes what he or she is saying, the gestures and expressions have to be consistent with her words. When you see a mismatch where gestures contradict the words, such as a side-by-side shaking when saying yes or a person frowning, okay, then there's something there that tells you that the body language doesn't meet and there may be some deceit or at least a conflict between what the person is thinking and what they are saying. This is a tough one. Changes in gestures, oftentimes in the effort not to let their give away the lie. Deceivers, they try to hold their body unnaturally still. Other times, especially being asked searching a question, you may notice accelerate pacifying gestures, biting the lips, rubbing the hands together, fidgeting with the jewelry, touching their hair. In other words, look for changes in gestures that would you normally see when they're not lying to you or when they're not talking to you. Micro expressions, difficult to catch, but if you can spot a expression that contradicts a verbal statement, believe what you see and not what you hear. The quick check glance. This may follow a less than truthful response. Liars will immediately look down and away, then look at you again in a brief glimpse to see if you bought the falsehood. A very, very important part on the closure of the conversation. The quick glance check. The quick check glance. See if they look down, look away, look back. If you pick up on that, and if you believe a person really believes the lie, then there's no way you can detect falsehood. We're talking about pathological liars, of course, or a superb actor. But you can become better at spotting these by using these cues by people who try to deceive you. Remember, it's not an exact science, but it's something to go by, and it allows you to start establishing a baseline in the business, wherever it may be. The best way to understand someone's behavior is to observe them over an extended period amount of time, note the speech, the gestures, the blinking patterns, develop a norm. Once you've assessed the norm, you'll be able to detect shifts or changes in their body language, out of character. Remember, this is the key. You're looking for out of character signs that may be signs of lying. And a state of heightened anxiety is caused by many other factors, but you have to take in consideration what you know is normal and what isn't normal. So be good luck, be safe.